So wait, so what's happened? Phil, you're full turning around.
I full turned around and quietly produced the same knife, but I've got to see if I actually... Do I need to see if I spot him using his eyes to indicate the two guys that he's spotted?
Actually, he's inconspicuous. You turn around, and as you turn around, you realise you don't actually know where he went.
Great.
And you don't actually know it was him who threw the stone.
I'm startled by his sudden turning around, but I'm more concerned about looking to see if something's wrong with Siegfried, rather than looking to see if anything else is up.
Can I use sleight of hand to...
Hold on,
First of all,
in theory, if he's knocked me in the back of the head, I should be probably looking around, right?
Yeah, you're looking around. And what I'm going to say is...
Could I use sleight of hand to indicate with one hand to sort of point at the two people, while with the other hand blocking their line of sight?
In fact, I won't say that sleight of hand. All you have to do is just use your hand in front of your body, because they are behind you, so they can't see what your right hand is doing. So this would be a very easy thing for you to do. You just simply be like...
No, two fingers up for two people, and then point behind me with my thumb.
Absolutely. However, I'm going to say Phil has to take an Obs 2 perception test to understand these gestures, because you haven't arranged a code beforehand. None of you know military hand signals. So Phil, you
Obs 2 what test?
Perception.
Okay.
What is your perception for?
4.
Only I'd been... Yeah,
it's cool.
You immediately understand his import. You see exactly where he grabs his thumb in two directions, like towards his shoulder, and you follow the line. You immediately see these two relatively identically dressed characters who are now beginning to... One of them appears to be relatively disconcerted and is already like attempting to fade back into the crowd. You can see he's like clearly trying to break line of sight.
The first thing I'm going to say is Judson.
I don't acknowledge this.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a little too.
Either way, I don't wait to see what happens, and I start running towards them.
I can see him running though. Where are you going? I'm gonna start chasing him. Bit behind because I didn't acknowledge him speaking to me at all.
Okay, right. We're having a little bit of a chase of Rune. Okay, so here we have to decide what's going on. What are you chaps actually doing? What are your first actions in this?
I think Dominic's gonna take... If there's no rope-like thing near him, he will take his shirt and try to throw it in a sort of spinny manner at the legs of the people who are probably gonna start running when they see Sig Tank charging.
They're too far away for me to do this. Like, I mean, this is one of those things where it's like, if you throw a shirt at somebody, it's not going to go more than like 5 feet.
No, it's not. Yeah.
And these guys are like 10 yards away, and they're rapidly... So this is the moment where once you start taking actions here, they will immediately see that you guys have made them.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to start sprinting towards them.
I shall try to inconspicuously make my way behind them without them actually noticing I'm repositioning.
I will say that at this point, you're pretty sure that one of them has spotted you. Because when you're taking the perception test earlier.
Being distracted by the fact that I did not even acknowledge my name being said, I'm following Siegfried, because I have no idea what he's looking at, and if he spotted something, that's not a good sign.
So if that's the case, what we're going to do is... one of the guys is going to take a pretty simple
oh crud test.
No, this is what he's doing is he's just going to basically they're splitting. One's going left, one's going right. So you have to choose which one you're going to chase, Phil. But the one on the left is clearly looks like he's trying to fade back into a different street. So this is an inconspicuous roll, which you guys have to roll against. That's an Obs 2. So
Obs 2 of what? Observation?
Observation, yeah.
Oh.
By the way, remember you're only taking one observation test out of this scene, so.
I know.
So that's a 2 for me since my observation is 2. But what's going on?
How many successes did he roll?
This is at a penalty because you've made him and he's having to do it quickly. So Rufus, you get 3 dice.
Oh yeah.
How many successes do we have to beat?
2.
You guys have to beat 4 because you guys are being lacking it.
With perception.
Oh.
Yes.
What perception?
No idea.
Yarp.
No clue.
Okay.
Nobody makes it.
Nope.
Okay, so Rufus notices that one of them is peeling into the other street, while the other one just simply starts running. And this is the guy who you can see, Phil, right in front of you. The other guy you've lost, like you lose sight of him out of the corner of your eye. The other guy, he's just legging it, and he is speed 4.
Obvious McObvious is easy to chase.
Okay, and because Rufus warned you guys about this, you guys all get 1 advantage dice to your first speed test.
Excellent.
So, Rufus, what do you? Your.
I will actually point at them, at the person making his way, and falsehood, stop thief.
He's out of. Oh, okay. Well, he is out of the other two's line of sight, but you can still see him, so you can do that. So we'll resolve that after these speed tests.
Yes.
I'm gonna use a persona to add 1 extra die.
Okay, let's do this.
I am not. I am.
2 successes.
That is 3 successes for Judson.
4 successes.
Oh yes.
Okay, so you guys have almost immediately closed almost all the distance with this guy. 1 more test to catch him. Like 2 successes in a row in a link test like this will probably beat him. So let's go again.
So it's just
Do I
4
use the
dice this time.
same 5 dice, or
It's
is
just 4 this
Same
time.
5 dice. Same 5 dice.
Oh, excellent.
Let's go. Oh.
Oh, look at that! That's 4 successes for Judson.
What actually happens is, as he's sprinting away, he looks over his shoulder, and at the last, just inopportune time, a couple of people carrying a pane of recently rolled glass step out from a side street, and he goes right into it.
Who, me?
Yes.
Oh, that
Yeah.
guy. Oh, ouch, that is some bad luck.
So he immediately falls flat on his face, and you 2 have caught up with him. So you have to decide what you're going to do.
Is
try
this
and pin him.
Okay, that's easy. That's opposed power.
I'm going to... Am I able to help him in this?
You certainly can.
I'm going to help him. Have a
Give him a
dice.
helping dice. There we go. Okay.
Have a dice. I'm helping you with this.
I don't think that his chances are very good.
No! Oh!
Oh, this is collective failure. Okay, well
Wow.
he got 1 success, and you guys just made it.
Yes!
So
So,
you pinned.
what kind of test was that
down.
for
Power.
him? No, what kind of difficulty? Because I get a contribution for that.
That was a routine because it was only obstacle 1.
Oh, boo! But I helped you anyway.
Exactly. So it was a noble
Oh
attempt.
wait, shit! I forgot to do my things. For
Yes,
throwing
your thing
that.
is now happening.
Okay,
No,
Richard,
no, my
Stop.
skill.
your
checks.
falsehooding stop thief.
Yes.
I would say this would actually be a conspicuous.
Would be?
Yeah, because even though he isn't a thief, we already the main act of what you're trying to do is draw attention.
Oh yes.
Like this is the yell that we're going on here. So let's say that this would ordinarily be obs 1.
Yeah.
But it's obs 2 because you don't have conspicuous.
So it's
I
obs
take it.
2. So yeah, roll your I think conspicuous is perception will. Let me check.
So,
Okay, I'm not rolling falsehood. I'm rolling conspicuous.
You're rolling conspicuous
This is
because your
good.
goal is. Remember, your goal is to attract attention
Yes.
rather than to
lie.
lie. You're not trying to convince these people that he's a thief. Exactly.
You're just trying to draw attention
You're
to what
trying
they're
to draw
saying.
attention to this guy.
Okay. So.
Okay.
What's-
So conspicuous
is
is
that?
will. You roll your will dice versus obs 2.
So you will.
And
Yeah.
after this, you'll be writing a conspicuous in your learning.
A nice time.
Better just play a red.
Okay. And that's a
Bam.
success.
Nailed it.
Do you know what I can
Okay.
imagine Kristoff doing right now? Being like, I wish I had an Alfred.
Okay. So result of this is that immediately everybody in the street, like a good number of them, just immediately turn to see this guy running away. So he's pretty clearly marked out if he wants to continue chasing him. But it's up to
yes.
you. I mean, at this point, the question is, the other guy, you've just seen the other guys pin him down. Do you want to run off this guy and chase him?
I would like to run after him, but keep my distance. I'm going to gamble on that someone else will stop him and pin him.
Okay. So while that's going on, you chaps have to decide what you're going to do with this guy you just pinned.
First thing I ask him is,
Where's the
did
bomb?
he send you?
Where is she?
You're asking him a question. His face is still relatively hard to make out because it's covered by a hood. I would suggest yanking back the hood.
I
Yeah,
was
my
about to
intent
say.
is to remove the hood.
Okay, he moves there.
Okay, you pull back the hood, and it is immediately clear from the general pallor and structure of this man's face that he is from the Brass Empire. Like, immediately. Like, obvious. And the second thing is immediately obvious is that something is very, very wrong, because you can see, it looks like he's trying, like his jaw is working, like he's slamming his mouth closed repeatedly.
There's something
Come
wrong.
on, guys.
I
You
mean,
know
we,
what that
yeah,
is.
we know what he's doing. The question is whether our characters do. Like, what we're gonna have to roll something to find out if you have
I'm-
any idea what they're doing there.
I don't know. I don't know if I've seen anything like this before. I'm gonna try open his mouth. My intent is to open his mouth.
Oh, that could get you a nasty bite.
Irrelevant. I'm still gonna do it.
Are you with an object or with your hand?
Ooh, that's a good point.
This is really difficult. I'm telling you, if you've ever tried to use your hands to pull someone's mouth open,
Kiko, what you need
I'm gonna
to
try
do
and
is
use
you
the
need to gag
I'm
him.
gonna use the handle end of my machete.
Hail Hydra!
It's the only blunt object I have nearby.
okay. So in that case, you're going to grab the handle of your machete. That's easy enough, and you are going to have to take an Ob 6 speed test to get into his mouth before he succeeds at what he's doing.
I think I need to spend a persona point on this before I even do anything. So
Probably. You might also have to. Well, you also have to throw in a fade once you do it.
well, we'll see how we do first.
See how we do.
Yeah. Does Phil holding the guy down add anything to Kikos? No, it's just speed, is it? Yeah.
There is 1 6 there, but only 2 successes, so that is
Okay.
not going to be
The handle
enough.
glances off his teeth, and immediately the nature of his struggling changes from being like actual struggling to being like spasmodic. Like you can feel his muscles vibrating, and there's quite clearly something very, very, very wrong with what's coming out of his mouth. Like he's foaming, his lips turning blue.
It's foaming. Oh,
I'm going to let go of him and back off because that's pretty nasty.
yeah, I don't like that either.
The man dies within about 10 seconds. He immediately turns completely stiff with his back arched and his eyes like have rolled up into his head.
Steel test. Steel test.
Indeed, you all have
Yeah.
to take a steel test.
What kind of steel test?
Well,
This-
technically, Ruford doesn't, right?
Rufus is not paying attention to it.
Rupert's not
Rufus
dealing with that, but this is actually relatively tricky because you basically just roll your steel score. You always roll your steel score. So let's see what the actual. To be honest, all of you are going to hesitate. Like there is 0 chance you guys are just going to blank this. So just roll it. It doesn't really matter because this isn't in combat.
That is a cocked die, so
Ooh.
that would be landing on a 5 though. So that's 2.
Okay.
2 successes.
By the
for
way,
me.
guys, for reference, steel tests are open-ended. Useful fact. Steel tests by default explode 6s. So it is possible for you to succeed at an impossible steel test.
However, I don't think I'll be succeeding that.
Okay, so both of you just look at each other and you have literally no clue. Just like what? You pause for like a few heartbeats of just complete. Well, that was not what we were expecting. Meanwhile, Rupert's friend, a burly man who was whipping a couple of horses, leaps down off a cart and just fucking slugs this guy over the back of the head with a kosh that is produced from nowhere.
Ooh.
Yes.
The guy goes over, like face plants in the dust, but again, something is very wrong. The man spins him over, and you can see that as he was falling, he'd pulled out a dagger and shoved it into himself.
Ooh.
What the fuck?
And the guy literally landed with the hilt in the dust, and it drove it straight into his chest.
What a fucking knob.
And the
Is
guy's
he still alive?
Not
dying,
anymore.
he's dying at the moment. Like you can see blood is literally, he's clearly punctured a lung, probably nicked his heart. There's blood coming out of his mouth. There's a lot of blood coming out of his chest.
So I steal as well now.
You have to take a steel test.
Well,
And there's now a commotion. Like people are just like, some guy has literally just killed himself right in the street.
Terrible, terrible accident. So steal free.
We
You
were
roll your
right beside the city guard place as well.
well, we're doing well.
Well, no, you're by the intelligence service. The intelligence service don't give a shit. A and B, you're actually several streets over. Like
That's
you,
3.
You made it
This
quite a way.
explodes.
Reroll that.
This explodes.
Reroll that.
Yeah, reroll your 6.
Reroll your 6.
So that's 3 successes.
What was
What's
your
the
hesitation,
difficulty?
Rupert?
Hesitation?
Yeah.
6.
Okay,
Oh, that's
so
4.
all that basically, every success you get in your steel test subtracts your hesitation. So you just hesitate for two moments. As a general rule, outside combat, steel tests just indicate your characters are a little bit phased. So if you immediately have to take like other tests afterwards, you'd like miss a couple of tests or something.
Was this an
What?
Oh, so
Well, that was a bit
Oh,
of garbling on my end.
Failed.
I failed, did I?
you failed it.
I got 4, didn't I?
Yes, but remember your hesitation is the obstacle of your steel test. Your base
Oh, I
steel
see.
test
Oh, I see.
obstacle is your
Apologies for that,
hesitation.
people. My end garbled, but
So all three of you are just suddenly like there's a moment of absolute brief moment of like silence. Where all of you are just standing there, like the street is collectively holding its breath because 2 people have just died, and you guys are looking around just like shit. What do you do next? Because you're pretty sure that there is going to be guard appearances any moment.
When
Oh, by the way, sorry, Phil. This is just something that you know as a consequence of your guard wise. You know that there will be a guard team here within like a minute.
yeah,
right. I have inconspicuous. My intent is to quickly leave the scene using inconspicuous. Even if I'm being watched, I need to go.
with the others? Do you indicate this to Sieg Phil?
I'm telling Siegfried we need to go, and that's all I'm saying. We need to move, and I'm going down the street.
Do you guys notify Rufus? He's like Dominic is like maybe 40 feet away.
He's too far away. If I shout, that'll draw more attention.
How close was I to the guy having the terrible accident?
You were some way back because you didn't state the intention to run after him. You stated the intention to shadow him. So you're actually quite a way away. Like you saw what happened to him, but you're not close.
Whilst I'm still.
What I would say the following, Phil. Your character knows that you have time to quickly look through this guy's pockets.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I'm gonna check the guy's pockets really quickly. Actually, quickly if I'm having to roll for things.
Okay, so that is. I'm not going to say it's particularly difficult. You know how to operate pockets.
By the way,
all that you find inside his pockets are a whole series of throwing knives that are completely triangular, like they're sharpened at the 3 points. In a belt pouch, and apart from that, you don't find anything else that you seem to be able to do anything with. Like there's
how fucking useful.
There's a dagger
pouch.
On a pouch, yeah.
So I grabbed the pouch.
Okay, cool.
I'm doing my inconspicuous go away act.
Okay. For reference, the reason why those throwing knives are the only significant thing is those you look at them, you don't know what they are. Like they seem weird to you, so that's why.
Right.
He didn't have any money at all.
No, neither of these two had any money.
Right.
Like they had nothing on them, no identifying traits, nothing.
Inconspicuous time.
Okay, yes. So Kiko, you are going to roll your inconspicuous. I'm not going to make it against an observation because nobody gives a shit at the moment. There's too much commotion. This is purely for future reference and to indicate that you're doing it. In fact, no, I'm not even going to make you roll dice. I'm going to say yes. You can successfully get away from here inconspicuously because there's too much shit going on for people to care. Phil, you could also slip away with him. Like at this point, you characters could decide to slip away without it being difficult.
Yeah, let's arms great.
By the way, what do I put under that steel for like difficult or challenging?
That's challenging.
It was challenging.
Did you guys pick up like anything from their bodies?
They got a pouch of unusually shaped throwing knives from one of them, but the other guy died too far away to get hold of for Rufus. So,
see,
yeah,
they did get two pieces of information. The first is that they were from the Brass Empire, which is for reference. We're thinking of like they look relative to you. They look kind of Asian. Would be the way to think of that. The other thing that they got is these two people killed themselves. Like the moment they thought they were going to be compromised, they killed themselves.
Thanks, Kliker.
Fleeting clash with Arse Empire.
It's brass, not. Never mind. Yep, but I'm going.
Yes.
I'm still skulking in the Cly cave, even though I'm not even in there.
Okay, sorry. And that is the scene over. You chaps now have to decide where you're going next, because you lot. Like, Rufus, definitely, if he wants to, you can follow the other two off if you want to go with them.
Yeah, I would. There's a bunch of checks I forgot to put on. Do we do that later, or do we do it quickly?
Kliker gets angry.
Oops. Someone just said no bad Kliker, no flipping the table, and I just wanted to do the whole thing.
Oh,
it just
Kliker.
Just click back. Just click back.
Kliker.
There we go.
But I've used a bunch of skills, but I forgot.
Space and time implodes.
Right, you used.
I used falsehood. I used inconspicuous.
Observation.
You used conspicuous as well.
Yes, learning pip for conspicuous.
Learning pip for conspicuous. What
test for observation?
What do I write? Was that
just conspicuous?
You just note it down as a test for learning conspicuous. It's under skills being learned. You'd write down conspicuous and pip for learning. So
we all had a routine inconspicuous test at the end, I guess.
It's not a test because basically, the way to think of it is, if there was to be an explosion down the road and you walked away and nobody saw you, is that something that required any foreknowledge to achieve?
Yeah, but I mean, they saw me jump on a guy.
Yeah, they did see us jump on a guy and then die.
That's why I was wondering how difficult it would be for me to actually get out of there.
Oh well, I think the way to look at it is nobody's going to stop you.
Okay.
Dude, you just jumped on a guy and he died. No one's gonna fuck with you.
You Mario'd the shit out of him.
Yep.
So, we're going.
Although, Phil, it is possible that because the thing is, people spotted you before inconspicuous come into effect. So it's like if anybody knows what you look like, they know what you look like before you left.
True.
Like they saw you do it.
But we're going. So.
Could we quickly finish the checks that I forgot? I did something with falsehood. How many times?
No, you didn't. You didn't do anything with falsehood. What you did something with was conspicuous. So write down a learning for conspicuous, a challenging for
Observation.
Observation, because you solved an
Already done that. Yeah.
Observation.
Was that twice? It wasn't, was it?
No. All of you guys should put down a. No, actually, no. None of you need to, unless one of you has. In fact, no. None of you get speed tests for that because his speed test was such failure.
What did what about steel?
Oh, write down a routine throw. What's your throwing, by the way?
4.
Routine throwing test, by the way. Note that down.
3. Sorry, 3.
Routines
Oh,
don't.
by the way, you can either choose to take the sleight of hand or the throwing. One of the two. Which do you take? Sleight of hand or
I
throwing?
think I've already taken a slide. No, that was when I was trying to.
Yeah, it's a
give
different scene.
A surprise hand job. Okay, I do throwing.
Okay, so you're taking the throwing test. That was a routine test because it was only obs 2.
Yeah.
It's easy enough.
You're on the Google Doc, right?
I'm not on the Google Doc now.
I see an anonymous beaver. Who's
Right,
that then?
so
Oh, that's me. Yes, sorry.
that's the end of the scene.
Okay,
That is the end
sorry.
of the scene. You guys now have to work out what your character's going to do next. Meanwhile, we switch the action. There's a smash cut to Glyca, who is at this juncture trying to find a combination of climbing gear or alchemy. So over to you.
Okay.
You've just sold your horse. You are now flush with an infusion of some quantity of money. Although, to be honest, your character doesn't really know what things cost.
Wait, real quick.
Like this, you are the proverbial guy who, like, if you were to
Okay, I
ask him
literally.
what's
Sorry, there we go. I literally just played the sound from Batman where it goes.
Fair enough.
Nice.
Go.
You are the proverbial character who, like, if somebody was coming to you and say, how much would it cost to get a really fucking nice carriage? You'd be
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, no problem, fucking this much. But someone's
Yeah.
like, how much does it cost to get bread? You're like, I don't know, like 100 talents, like, I guess.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Does
Here's
bread
20,
cost
my
things?
good man.
I was pretty sure you get bread when you wake up, don't
Yeah,
you? There's
I
a guy who
always
gives you
just
bread.
I always just walked into the kitchen and
magic-
had the baker
The
give me
magic
some.
bread fairy delivers it.
Exactly.
Okay. So I'm looking for a general store where I can buy some tools that
not a
where
general
I can buy a mask, something that I can hide my face with, and where I can buy tools.
The reason why
For
this is an
climbing.
Ops 3 resource test to get the
Yeah.
climbing tools is that they are not common.
No, I bet, but the mask is right.
Mask, very easy to get.
Okay, so do I have to do like 2 tests for the mask and the tools, or does it
I'm
just
going to say the mask is an Ops 1 resources test. Like, you can literally just go into a random cloth shop and just say, can you cut me a very brief bit of cloth capable of covering a face?
Okay, so
you
I
don't
do
have
the
to use the cash for this. So you can roll 1 resources dice, which represents your normal resources, or you can just say, I'm going to use 2 dice, which represents your spending the cash.
This is for the mask now, or what?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll use 1.
Big C6 be a 6.
Okay, all
Fuck.
failure indicates is that you couldn't find a mask at a reasonable price. Like, you went to a couple of mask shops, you're like, where would a mask be sold? I know, one of those shops where they sell dresses and stuff for balls. So you go into a really
Yes.
fucking nice shop, you're just like, yeah, I want this one with the, and you spend like a couple of minutes, you're like, oh, that one's got feathers on it. Check out the style, makes my cheekbones look great, and just like posing.
Well,
Fabulous.
all I really want is like one of those like more of a scarf or something. So
You'll look
like,
so good with a scarf, Clicker. So good.
so I can put it like like over my nose, like up to my eyes.
Right. So you get a silk scarf that's gorgeous. You're like, oh, it's so nice across your face. You take it to the checkout, to the counter where the guy is. He looks at you and he says, that'll be 300 talents.
And you're like, oh.
You look at him and it's like, wait, I don't have, the guy with the money's not here. Oh, shit. That moment where you don't have the servant who carries your purse with you.
Yeah. Oh god.
So you sheepishly put it back. However, you can still ask the shopkeeper for a place you might find either an alchemist or something else.
Well, as we already said, like probably no one knows about an alchemist or so on. So I'm just going to ask him if he can point me to a general store, where I can find, like, yeah, I don't know, like tools, utensils, and so on, and where I could maybe also find a cheap scarf or shawl.
Well, he says we do have some off-cuttings from these bolts of silk that you could maybe get your hands on for a cheaper price if you want.
That does sound good. Would that be could I see them?
You have to persuade him to part with them.
Oh, okay. Persuasion is 4.
Ooh.
What's the ops?
Obs 2, he doesn't really give a shit.
Ooh.
Okay.
Nice. So
You
that's
could,
a,
sure. Tell me, how do you persuade him?
Well, since there are off-cuttings, can you really do anything with these? I never knew what happens with off-cuttings.
like, well, occasionally we get a couple of dresses that maybe need a bit of extra something at the edges, but no, you're basically right. Yeah, I'm just holding on to them because it's stuff that I paid for. Yeah, you can have it.
Oh, I can? Oh, thank you so much.
No, this costs you 2 things. Failing the resource test actually does what's called tax.
Right.
So you've lost that 1 dice of resources until you get money back.
Okay.
That's just how it works. I haven't maybe represented it correctly, but it's not necessarily representing loss of money. It's like some type of resource was expended in your attempt to find this.
Okay, so I write what, like under tax? I write 1 or what?
Yeah, you write tax 1.
Okay.
However, you still have the cash, and you now have like a swatch of black silk that you could use as a makeshift scarf.
To basically hide my face up to my eyes. Okay. So I'll just call it mask in my inventory.
You just hum something, you leave, goes.
Okay. And is it actually like, is it thick enough to, you know, that you can't actually see my face through it?
It's black silk.
It's black
It's
silk.
sheer black silk.
Very good.
Okay, good.
I mean, this is actually a very nice material. You went to an expensive shop to get it.
That's good.
So it feels really nice rubbing across your skin. You're like, oh.
I'm like, oh, my face.
I'm inconspicuous. And
Okay,
stylish.
I'm gonna ask him if he can. I'm gonna ask him if he can tell me if there's a shop that sells like tools and utensils.
He says, tools? I mean, what type of tools are you interested in? Remember, this is a time where there are very specific tools for crafts.
Yeah, I know. I need something where I need rope, for example. I need rope and some like metal, like something that can help me climb.
Oh, he's got rope. He's got rope.
He's got rope.
Oh yeah. Any shop that sells fabrics would normally have some rope because at that time a lot of rope was made out of twisting together fibers. So he would have. So he has some nice silk rope.
Silk rope.
Oh yeah,
silk rope
was
stronger than normal.
Very
rope.
very strong, very
good.
thin.
Okay. Would he be able to part with that?
You'd have to pay him, and that would
Okay.
be an Ops 3 test. So I think the answer is the silk,
No.
the rope he has is not in your price range at the
No.
moment.
Okay. Well, does he know where I can get some, like, you know, where there's just a general store that
He's
is?
a little unsure, but what he suggests is that given the fact that you don't have very much money, the most obvious place to look for this type of stuff would be in the grain quarter.
The grain. Okay.
He's-
So he
he's-
doesn't
he's-
think that I can actually find anything in the craft quarter.
in your
the
price
craft quarter.
in your price range in the area that you know,
Mhm.
he's indicating that no, those shops will be too expensive for you.
Okay. I
The
will,
reference-
however, ask him if he knows if there is a learned, like a man who has a shop who is like a learned man who might know about things like medicine or powders or something like that, or the sciences.
He says there is an apothecary.
An apothecary. Okay.
An apothecary. Who sells random herbal remedies and the occasional
Right.
something for. Let's say a maiden has an indiscretion and then needs to get rid of something.
Right. I understand. Can you tell me the way?
He certainly can.
Okay.
And he gives you an address that's slightly out of the way round a corner. It's just off one of the piazzas. There's sort of a slightly narrow alley. And
Okay.
there's
Well, I thank him very much, and again say how nice the fabric is that he gave me, and I say my goodbyes, and then I head for the address he tells me.
excellent.
Cool.
As you make your way along the street, you feel like somebody is watching you.
Okay. I have observation 2.
Roll observation test, Ops 4. This is the same one that Rupert rolled. Got a 6.
Yeah, but only
I think
one
yeah, it's a bit
success.
tricky.
Yeah, no.
You don't notice anything in particular, but you still feel slightly uneasy.
Okay. I feel slightly uneasy. Well, I still head for the shop.
Exactly. I mean, your character doesn't. You're just like,
No.
well, what am I
It's
thinking?
just like, I feel kind of weird, yeah. To be fair, I guess he would be feeling uneasy like all the fucking time because, you know, his family got killed.
He's eating
By the way,
peasant
you,
food instead of the noble crap he's used to. So
the
Here's
end
also
of
one of the other things is that your character doesn't really know. And one of the reasons your observation is 2 and not higher is that your character doesn't really know how people normally behave en masse.
Yeah, he doesn't.
So,
Like, he can spot if someone is kind of like doesn't fit into the noble area, but he has no idea how like commoners act or move or whatever.
So you arrive
What?
at this shop after painfully asking for directions. The ceiling's extremely low. The shelves are full of all kinds of weird and extremely dingy glass bottles. Like the glass is not clear at all.
Okay.
And there's a rather old man sitting at the back, wearing one of those ridiculous cylindrical hats. And he's just sitting there. He's pouring a vial into another vial, and just muttering under his breath.
Okay. Well, I'd like to. I greet him, and I enter the shop, and I greet him, and I say, good day, sir. I heard that you are an apothecary who has knowledge of medicines and finer sciences.
He says, yes, that's exactly what the sign says.
That is exactly what the sign says, as I read as I came in here. Sir, I have something for you, and I hope that maybe you could help me with this. You see, my father, he works in the docks.
He doesn't believe you.
Good falsehood.
He doesn't believe you immediately. Like,
oh, okay.
The lie doesn't even leave your mouth before he laughs derisively and says, "You, father who works for the docks, I know exactly your type. You're rich."
Well, okay. So you have seen directly through me. So I will. A man of your intellect and your knowledge. I cannot lie to you, sir. It is the following. My friends and I, we, as you may know, among our circles, we like to produce the kind of substances that enhance life a little bit. And one of my friends, he has gotten this new substance, a powder it is, from
oh, I like this lie. This is a good lie. You get bonuses to the falsehood shit roll that you're about to make.
Okay, again, you know, like from a bit of an irreputable source. And before we would like to produce this, I told my friends that I would like a knowledgeable man to check it if it is safe to use.
You're pretty much taking a big verbal dump on this.
This will make you live longer. Oh, let me try it.
Do you have falsehood, Gleicher?
Do I have what? No, I don't.
Okay, so
I have persuasion and oratory.
Okay, normally I would say you're not really meant to get that many bonuses to beginner's luck, but I'm going to say this is a relatively easy lie to believe. Okay. Like a shifty-looking noble coming in, basically saying, "Got some drugs, mate."
I know.
But that's you know, and he can believe this, particularly because you tried a pathetic lie first.
Yeah,
like
I know.
if you were genuinely some kind of threat, you wouldn't have wanted in. Just be like, my name's Steve, and I work at the docks. Okay.
Yeah.
So
hello,
Okay,
my
so
father
I'm
works
gonna
at the
say
docks.
This is an obs 2. No, listen,
Falsehood
it's obs.
was what, will or perception?
Falsehood is will.
Okay, so 5 dice.
Mm-hmm.
And
Versus obs 4.
Do I get an extra dice?
Yeah, you get an extra one. I'm going to say you get to roll 6 dice versus the 4. It's base 2, but I'm doubling it.
Good luck.
Actually, I'm going to say it's 3 because there's a further reduction.
Well, look at those 5 successes.
Like he was believing you before you even got halfway through that. He was like, "Oh, I know exactly what's happening. One of them has got like some fucking flower from the thing and told the others that it's something good."
Make a pip on falsehood, by the way, for skills being learnt.
Yeah.
Skills being learned. Wait. Falsehood. Yeah. Okay. Just keep going.
So he says, "So, what is the substance you have to show me?"
Well, I give him. I show him I hand him the little bag of white powder, and I tell him this is how the man sells it. And he asks, like, I make up some bullshit. I don't know how the currency works. I make up some bullshit price that someone would pay for drugs. And I see, I just want to know if this is worth the price, and if we don't, kill ourselves with it.
He's looking at it immediately. He says, "Oh, I know this. This is just coca extract. Let me have a look at it." He taps.
Yeah, give it to him.
Touches his finger with it and tastes it just with the tip of his tongue. And then he immediately stops. He says, "No, somebody has sold you something that is very much not what it appears to be."
Oh, do you know what it is?
It's not from taste, he says. And then he
Okay.
places a small pile on the table, spreads it out with a. He's got one of those little metal spatulas. He spreads it out thinly on what looks like a clear surface, and he ratchets down in front of his eye a magnifying lens, and peers at it, poking at it.
I see, tiny infantryman, right?
Well, actually, he says, "I think I know what this is. This is some type of mineral. It's definitely not extract of cocoa. It's not organic. Well, originally organic as far as we know. This is definitely some type of mineral. I don't know the exact mineral. It's not chalk, but it's related to chalk. You would have to find someone, a geologist or an alchemist would maybe know better. I don't know the correct tests to tell you which of the white minerals this is, but it's definitely not a drug."
So basically, he is trying to sell us shit.
No, he's straightforwardly telling you he just doesn't know. Like,
No. I mean, I'm making up the lie.
Sorry, yes.
Like I'm saying. So what you're selling is that this is not drugs. We shouldn't spend our money on this.
Oh god, this is definitely not drugs. I mean, I don't even know what this is. So either this is somebody who's found some random rock outside the town and powdered it and is selling it to people, or I don't know. But either way, yes, that's no. You could certainly try snorting it. I'm not sure you'd get very far.
Oh no, thank you. I mean, my
Like
help. I only do the good stuff.
Kikos, there your character goes, sure.
Do you by chance know anybody who I could give this to? Because honestly, I'm a little interested in what this guy is actually trying to sell.
He says, no, that is more interesting. There is somebody who I suspect might be able to help you. There is at least one man operating around here who provides... Well, you know, sometimes we need certain preparations require heating, treatment with alcohol, or treatment with certain acids or basic properties and alkalis and so on. And one of those suppliers would probably be the type of fellow who would be able to tell you what this is. A straightforward alchemist of some description.
Okay.
Here is the name for the one I use. And he passes you a thing. Unfortunately, he's quite hard to find. They don't operate shop fronts. You'd probably have to find him or passes of his laboratory.
Well, do you know where it is? Can you tell me?
I haven't been there. I know roughly where it is. It's quite close to the docks because he gets most of his materials shipped to him. And he does all his business wholesale. He doesn't actually sell it directly to anybody other than shops. So
I see.
you'd have to find him there. It's a rough area.
Well, he gives me the rough area. I'll see. Well, I will send one of my servants there to ask the man.
Who says, and by the way, he leads in conspiratorially, if you're looking for something slightly more recreational, I do have a somewhat wider range of things that will certainly achieve a higher quality of life improvement than chalk.
Like a randomly buy sulfur and chalk.
He pulls out a platter.
Charcoal.
You know
Wait.
You know one of those platters that you get when you're being served a meal?
Yeah. He does it.
He pulls out a platter and just removes this dome, and there are like multiple different piles of multicolored substances. He says, "Try one and tell me which one you'd like."
Luke, how many of them are leeches?
None of them are leeches, sadly. You can't. He said, "I tried snorting leeches once. Doesn't go down very well."
I say, good man. I am quite versed in the recreational arts, believe me. But there is something that my friends and I are actually planning. You see, one in our circle is having his coming of age ceremony soon, and we want to do a little prank on him. We want to kidnap him and have him wake up in, something like the pig's stall or something, dressed in commoner's clothes. Just something to shock him into his new year. So I heard that there is actually a substance which you can put on a piece of clothing, and if held in front of a man's face, it will make him pass out.
He looks briefly at you with his eyes narrowed. I'm afraid that's something you'd be looking slightly further afield for. I have hypnotic agents, but most of them, you take them and they take a while to go into effect. I don't know of anything that strong. I mean, certainly not derived from plants. I know of things that will kill you that quickly.
Dude, you
can't.
can't.
No.
Yeah.
We certainly don't want to kill our friend.
And I know of a paralytic that would nearly stop his heart, if that would do. I mean, it's pretty good stuff derived from a ridiculously ugly deep-sea fish. Occasionally bring them in.
Dude, you cannot snort chloroform. I'm sorry.
Stop his heart, you say.
I'm assuming an alchemist that doesn't know about saltpeter wouldn't know about chloroform.
Oh, this isn't saltpeter.
Sure it is. Yeah, we were dealing with explosions before. It's a white substance. Of course, it's saltpeter. It's a mineral.
Interesting.
I think you're on the right track, but
Good sir, I don't need your services anymore. The voices in my head have told me what it is.
I know exactly what to do.
Anyway, let's keep this rolling.
Where is this Peter of the planet Salt?
Well, I ask him. So wait, you said you have something that almost stops a heart?
Oh,
yes.
Is it being ingested or?
Yes, when you ingest it. However, I must warn you, it's extremely hard to get hold of and barely hazardous to refine. I have to take about 12 of the bloody livers of these fish, chop them up, blah, blah, blah. And then he names a price, which is this is the equivalent of Ops 5. Like, this is not something you could dream of paying.
I say, well, it does sound interesting, but no, I think that would be going too far. I thank you very much for helping me, and I will, of course, come back to you in the future and take something off your platter.
No,
and
you
then
won't.
I guess I give him like a coin or something for
exactly. No, it's not a tax at all.
It doesn't matter. And then I go out and I decide that I should head to I went to the apothecary, but I still need to find some rope, which is in the docks district. So he said that his guy that he uses is also in the docks district, right?
Yeah, on the edge of the docks district.
Okay, well, I want to go to the docks district then because I still need to get myself some climbing shit, and I need to find this alchemist guy.
Well,
Okay, before we go any further, I am briefly going to take a biological break for 1 minute.
Okay.
And meanwhile, Kiko, Jesper, and Phil, you might want to discuss out loud with each
Don't
other.
use my real name, they'll fucking find me.
Oh, sorry.
Just
sorry.
mean.
Judson, Dominique, and Siegfried need to discuss what they're going to be doing next.
well, I think it's a pretty open shut case for what we need to do. We were originally going to head to the docks. We might as well keep going there.
Actually, I am against that.
Really? Why?
Because a bunch of people just saw me jump on a guy who died.
And
And
people
you might
were
remember that
following us.
one of my beliefs is
No loose ends.
leave no loose ends.
So what exactly are you... so if we're not going to the docks, then where?
Well, for starters, I think we'd have a better chance of picking up employments returning to the docks later at night. It's in the middle of the day now. I
Right.
doubt there's that much criminal activity
So
going on.
what do you
So
suggest?
the-
What do you
I'm
suggest?
also AFK.
And personally, I think a change of clothes might be a good idea.
What?
Also, we have to consider there were people following us
I don't have any other
before
clothes.
we even got there, so there were probably someone who saw us at the after we left Pond's brother. So there's probably not many places we can go. Do they know of your house, Mr. Siegfried?
Who's they?
Well, I assume the people following us. He said there were people on the inside of the what was it, guard, whatever. That
I'm
Judge's
sure
brother
There's
was.
two separate groups. There's business intelligence and contract enforcement.
Well, shouldn't matter.
Either
We
way,
still got followed.
I'm informing Dominic and Judson that I would like to actually go back to our house, change clothes, possibly find a way to actually make ourselves look like we fit in the docks, and then
I could
return.
arrange that.
That's sensible enough.
If we
I'm
could get a
sure you
hold
can
of
borrow some clothes from one of my stable hands if you need them.
Also, it's worth noting at this juncture that if you needed to, Jesper can use his knowledge of disguise to help you lot fit in.
Yeah,
Also, I could sew something up if we needed to look
I
like something specific.
suppose.
That is true.
Then we'll go to the docks later, I guess.
so we're returning to my stable, my farm even.
Should we perhaps split up and meet back there?
No.
We're easy to
I
follow.
would say-
when
We're
we go
also
through.
very easy to pick off if we go one
If
by
anyone
one.
else was following us, they're not going to continue doing so after that display.
They would, however, if they went, oh, the one group of three have now become three groups of one.
What if they're waiting there then?
They're waiting. Certainly a possibility.
We'll deal with that when we get there.
Bear in mind that we have at least one intelligence person following us as well.
So.
Well, the question is, do you?
That could very... knowing my brother, he
He
might...
was one of the people
Knowing
who
my,
died.
knowing my
You have
brother...
absolutely no evidence that what he said is true yet.
Knowing my brother, he might... he might have told those people just to tell you that, just to give us peace of mind. He's a goit like that.
A goit. Nice.
What
You guys
an-
should definitely throw in the occasional insult like K-Tiff.
What a knob mongler.
I wouldn't go that far.
Either way, do you feel any safer going to the docks immediately rather than to my stables with such a person following you?
You make a good point.
So, same formation as before?
We had a formation?
Yes, we did.
When were you going to tell us this?
He just sighs and face palms.
That's not a good answer.
He stares at Siegfried. You know.
If you say so.
Thank you.
Is there anything we should get on the way?
By the way, you picked up something from the man?
Some sort of metal triangle?
Perhaps a musical
Can
instrument.
I have a look?
I'll pass him one of them. I assume
This-
they're bladed, so I'm slightly
Well,
careful. about what I pass it to.
basically, they are relatively blunt. Not at the points, but towards the point, they get sharper and sharper and sharper until the point is actually very sharp.
I would assume Prick, when he gets one of these in his hand, notices the weight
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of his throwing skill and will recognize them as throwing objects.
You immediately realise that this would be a very easy object to throw.
Yeah, he makes this point and asks if he could carry them.
Why triangles?
Well, up to Mr. Dominique should explain.
Well, they are good for throwing.
Why?
And going in soft bits.
So are normal knives.
Yeah.
In response to Dominic's question of whether he can carry them, I actually say, I think it would be best to keep them somewhere away from us so that if we are caught, they're not found on our person. So when we get to the farm, I'm going to hide them.
I agree with that.
Mm. Well, all right, but let me carry them to the farm.
He just wants to hold them in his hand.
I just want something that's not a rock to throw at the people if they...
How many are there?
Oh, these knives? There's a pouch of them, so there's
if it's
like
anything
10 or
like
something.
shuriken, it would be 9.
I said 10. In this world, it's 10.
Fuck.
Handle it.
They always had stacks of 9.
That's how they stacked in the inventory. They didn't want to waste
No,
inventory space.
I'd rather keep them in my possession if you don't mind.
Okay, he hands it back to Phil,
You can keep that.
but actually, okay.
You can palm one.
I was gonna, but he said I could keep it.
Okay. Right. So, what are you chaps doing next?
I did ask these two if there's anything they want to get on the way.
There's nothing I can get. I have all that I have. I carry.
What do we need?
Yeah, indeed, and Rufus is actually the best person to answer that question. So it'd be a
So
knowledge of your own.
my subconscious asks Luke, "What do we need?"
Okay, and your subconscious would say back, pretty much the most important thing would be probably some type of makeshift hat and some type of rough cloth will probably be key. Relatively, both of those very easy to scrounge.
I scrounge. Do I roll my scrounge?
Let's say that... What's your scrounge at?
2.
Yeah, you have to roll your scrounge for this.
I roll my scrounge. Are we careful?
You can be... Yeah, you have time.
I thought you went to the toilet. Never mind. 2.
Just casually peeing. Okay, so you succeed.
Okay. Do I put a routine on that?
Put a routine on it. Put a donk on it.
Routine. So we acquire the things on the way.
Precisely. So you basically...
Recharge.
So you can tell, when you get a success, by the way, one of the options is you can always tell everybody else how your character succeeded. So if you want to, you can describe how your character successfully scrounged up.
Could I add another item to that?
Certainly, so long as it's not outrageous.
A bunch of 9-inch nails without a head.
Okay, yeah, I suppose you could do that.
They make for very good throwing shit. Makeshift.
Oh, okay, that's actually a bit trickier, I would say.
Ooh?
There's a difference between.
I would say roll a separate scrounging roll for that, because the thing about that is that at this point you have to remember that objects like nails are less common because they have to be made by a blacksmith.
So another 3, or do I not have time for careful twice?
You certainly have to. I mean, I'm gonna like even if you didn't, you'd have time to do it again.
1.
Okay, you can't find any appropriate nails in this particular case. Like, or rather, you do find a couple, but they're so firmly stuck into the joists that you would need like a proper tool to remove them, and you don't have it.
Well, fuck it.
Judson on his way is lamenting that all this killing and all he wants to do is not kill people.
No one was actually killed. They suicided.
That still resulted in people dying, Dominic.
It's not murder unless
I wasn't saying if it was murder or not.
I don't know.
Just don't
Seems alright.
Siegfried, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about the issue of murder and death? More, please.
As far as I'm concerned, it's their own orders that killed them.
It's their commanding officer who wasn't very considerate.
If I'd have known what was
Six of
going
the
on,
stone.
if I'd known what's going on, I'd have tried to save them.
To be honest, that actually would have been the logical thing to do there.
Yeah.
Dominic scratches the back of his head, looking at Pons.
What?
Nothing. Are you gonna be a problem?
It depends on your definition of problem.
Are you going to get us killed?
I'm not intentionally going to stab you in the back, no.
Suddenly
It's
Batman
not-
appears.
It's not exactly what I meant.
Well,
but
then you should be
okay.
more clear in your speech. You speak in riddles, how do you expect anyone to understand you?
Nice. Get them arguments going. Yeah. Okay, so the next section is you chaps get back to the house.
Yep.
I assume you chaps are going to dress up as like rough docks type fellows?
I guess so.
Yeah, I'm gonna ditch those clothes that I was wearing whilst I was in the when we took down the thieves. Or the stalkers. Or
I will assist anyone needing help with disguise.
Okay, I'm not going to say you have to take a test here. It's not particularly difficult to like wear shitty clothes.
Yeah.
And smudge a bit of dirt on yourself.
And I mean, they do have as much time as they want, and Ruford can literally just go, here, let me make this for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I assume a slight bit of acting would also be involved with the posture.
I have a disguise skill sufficient.
All right.
Well, like one of you is genuinely like poor enough. Judson is genuinely poor enough.
I know exactly how to do this. It's just wearing a different set of clothes.
Nice. Ruford doesn't need any practice doing this because he's never been rich. And Phil might give it away, but that would come up later on. Like that would come up in a specific test rather than right now. Like it's not going to be some aspect of his costume that lets him down because you're overseeing that.
I'm still taking.
I'm just assuming something with posture. A nobleman would probably walk with a straight back and
I'm
look
still
down
taking my weapons. I'm still taking my weapons with me.
Quite aside from posture, what's the possibility of re-dyeing my hair? Because at the moment it's obvious and blonde.
There's not much of a problem with you being blonde. Unless you think you're being recognised.
I'm thinking of being recognised.
Mine's just ruddy and brown, so there's no problem there.
Remember that hair dye at this point would be an expense.
Exactly, it's difficult.
Either you would know something about how to prepare a dye from natural resources that you could harvest, or you would have to go to an apothecary or somebody who would know and buy an expensive dye.
Significant disguise roll. Be able to make a makeshift hair dye that would not hold up to rain or sweat, but would make do.
I don't think disguise would be to do with that. Disguise would be to do with the application of it rather than the production.
Okay. Because Phil's blonde and that's the easiest hair to deal with. So if we got some ash or some soot or something and just slap that on him,
you certainly could. But I think it's like just one of those things where your characters would be like, well, we would like to do this, and then you think about it briefly and you're like, it's a bit inconvenient.
You just slap some horsehair in a hat and have him wear that, so it sticks out over his proper hair.
You could do that.
I could sew that up.
Okay, I'm gonna say that's an OBS 3 sewing test.
If Stigfield wants to wear that,
I must ask. All this time that they're actually all sorting this stuff out. How many hours actually is it?
Well, we're waiting until sometime that's more reasonable to go to the docks because it was the middle of the day earlier.
How long do you think that will be, Mr.
I would say dusk. As soon as dusk or twilight.
What on earth is there for me to do here till dusk?
Go shoot us a rabbit.
Lots of pigs.
You could. There are suggestions in the chat that you could use. You could stick your head in a chimney.
Yeah, just do that.
I like this one.
It's
I like
not
this
bad
one.
though because
You could
like, getting
wear
soot
a
on the
hat.
face. Yeah,
like this is the best one. You could wear
a ponytail.
Well, I'm rolling a careful sewing roll here, Luke. What's happening?
Is there any?
You can also make it patiently, so the better you know your roll.
Well, they're all fiddling around with this. Is there any game outside I could hunt?
Well, you could try shooting birds. I mean, there are always birds around.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and shoot myself some dinner.
I heard there's also a Bubsy 3D running around out there.
I'm gonna try and shoot myself some dinner while they're doing this.
It's actually a very rational thing to do because some of you chaps will be getting hungry by now.
Yeah.
And note that none of you have any money really.
I'm gonna shoot myself some dinner. So carefully, my intent is to carefully shoot myself some dinner.
Okay, that's OBS 2 to hit a small bird.
That's not gonna be.
Why is no one ever doing stuff patiently?
I am doing
it
patiently.
Patiently is the bonus that time forgot.
I am doing it. Yep. I'm doing it carefully. Does patiently add a dice or not?
The way patiently works is it means that the more successes you get over the obstacle, the better the outcome.
Yeah, but I might not even succeed. Let's have a look.
I have, by the way, rolled my Phil hat creation.
No, that's only 1 out of 2.
Okay. Well, all that means is you hit a couple of birds, but it's not enough to feed the others. It's just enough for you.
Oh, in that case, I'm going to cook it.
Okay.
Because I have a cooking skill.
You cook it. It's OBS 1 to produce a simple meal.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it carefully, which adds 1 die.
And patiently.
Oh yeah, I'm cooking food.
Well done, Kiko. You have. Meanwhile, you chaps are faffing around with disguises and stuff. Johnson wanders back in and just casually makes himself like a couple of sparrows on a stick.
Starts eating them.
Damn it.
Like, so what are you guys having for dinner?
Give me one of those sparrows, man. Sparrow. Sparrow.
I'm feeling slightly satisfied that I've managed to get like. It was a bigger. There was a bigger bird, but the sparrows are sufficient for me.
So what is this wonderful wig that Dominic's made me?
Yeah.
Well, he has crafted a truly beautiful hat, where what he's done is he's taken hair from the horse
Oh,
and
great.
he's sewn it into the brim of the hat.
This
So
is
when
gonna
you
be...
wear it, it looks like you're... You know those dudes who had like cages wearing ridiculous bowl cuts?
Yep.
You look
This
like
is
one of
gonna
them.
be beautiful.
Excellent.
This is going
I
to be
think we should probably
beautiful.
slap some soot on his head just to be sure if the hat comes off. He might be able to.
Amazing.
Okay, so you chaps are now fully made up and ready to head into the docks. And by the way, for reference, Kliker, you spent most of the day wandering around the other district. So by the time you head into the docks district, it will be getting dark as well.
So
Yeah,
at
I
the same
understand.
time...
In fact, we can roll the die of fate.
On a 1, it's a completely different time.
6. Critical fate. All of you get hit by lightning and die.
No!
That
So
was
my,
burning wheel, everybody.
so my next character is going to be a vampire.
The
My next
adventure.
character is gonna be a werewolf. Kiko
I'm
and
a
I are gonna be
half
best
horse
friends.
orc.
Best friends? Wait, I'm a drow vampire.
Wait, does that mean you're an orc tower?
No, I'm a half horse orc. Pay fucking
Like,
attention.
I'm a chaotic good drow vampire.
Oh, okay. I
I,
am.
I wield
well,
2
let's
gnomes.
let's just keep burning the wheel, shall we?
Oh, alright then.
Certainly.
This is a slow-burning wheel.
Okay. In that case, let's move to the next step where we all decide where we are going and where. All of you heading into the docks.